How much money in total have you and Matt sent Ani?
In general, she sent me money.
60,000 maybe.
Wow. Do you still dance, Ani?
No.
Do you? None?
No, not
Okay.
anymore, not recently.
Let's ask her. Do you still dance in the club?
Yeah, of course.
8 years ago, you were an exotic dancer. Is that true?
Je veux pas mentir, c'est pas une fausse rumeur.
That's great, because she's pregnant.
Oh my God.
What?
Whoa, really?
Jesus.
No.
Mark, Mina, what are you thinking? How dare you? You're not allowed to get pregnant without Jordan's permission, remember? Now, before we get to them, once and for all, let's put the Throuple to bed. No pun intended. As I'm sure you recall, the last we saw them, Amani had revealed that she and Annie had never actually slept together, just the two of them. And when we join them in this episode, Matt and Amani's friend, who's apparently experienced with polyamory, is invited on stage to share his thoughts about this hot mess of a relationship.
You're not having sex with Ani, which is interesting, because usually in a throuple, everybody's engaged, so you might have some jealousy and problems there. Just can't be Matt having all the fun with the two girls.
How could this possibly be a healthy, balanced relationship if it's just Matt who jets off to Mexico to sleep with Annie? Like, the whole scenario is just insane. But the Throuple themselves refuse to accept that. Like, when questioned why it is that they don't sleep together, Annie says that Amani's just too busy for her, and Amani laughs it off.
I know I'm very busy in my schedule, but we're gonna have sex this weekend. I'll fly out, okay?
That is a fake laugh if ever I've seen one. Annie's forced smile screams, "No, please don't." Now, the funny thing is, considering Amani was so soul-destroyed that Annie didn't choose to marry her, isn't it weird how much of a chore sleeping with Annie seems to be for Amani? She's like, oh, if I have to, then I'll sleep with you. I'll fly out and I'll sleep with you. But it really doesn't seem like something she wants to do. So why aren't they sleeping together? Like, there seems to be more at play here. You can't just blame this down to Amani constantly working and being tired. Could there perhaps be any truth to the theory that maybe it's Annie that doesn't want to sleep with Amani? Maybe the way Amani speaks to her and treats her is a massive turn-off, perhaps.
I don't like the reaction. She reaction is so bad.
I know my words were terrible, were so hurtful, and even I watching this, I felt embarrassed.
Look, I'll give it to her. Amani does look embarrassed, but does she regret saying those horrible things because it hurt Annie? Or does she just regret it because it was broadcast for the whole world to see? It kind of feels like the latter, doesn't it? Like, nothing about these three seems even remotely genuine. And let's not forget, their horrible final fight started in the first place because Annie was pissed at Amani for not sending her rent money that she felt she was owed.
You didn't get the money, Ani. You were upset. And so Ani was trying to break off the relationship with both you and Matt. Is that right?
That's what it sounded like.
Look, I'm not condoning Amani's verbal abuse at all, right? Not at all. But if that was my partner trying to dump me because I couldn't pay her rent, yeah, I'd be pretty upset too. Especially after finding out just how much money Amani has already sent her in the form of bank transfers, gifts, and luxury vacations.
How much money in total have you and Matt sent Ani?
In general, she sent me money.
60,000 maybe.
Wow.
I'm sorry, what? 60,000 US dollars? That's a heck of a lot of money. Like, that stretches a very long way in Guadalajara, believe me. Like, just think about it. For Annie to have received that much and yet still threaten to leave over one missed rent payment is so f***ed up. I mean, it's definitely reignited all the suspicions we had about her, hasn't it?
The one time I said no, the relationship almost ended.
Okay, who thinks there's a scam going on here? Ani is in this relationship just for money.
Mostly, yes.
Mostly, yes.
Ouch. The majority of the cast all seem to think that Annie's a scammer. Even usually sweet-tempered Maddie raises his hand. Like, that's got to sting. But, get this, just to make matters even worse, even Amani, the woman that Annie's in a relationship with, is herself casting doubt on Annie's intentions.
Si la impresión que yo les doy es de gold digger, ellos pueden pensar lo que ellos quieran.
It's very, very, very hard for me
to talk about it, but that's what I feel right now.
Yeah, I mean, once again, there's just nothing genuine about this throuple at all. The very minute that Annie's intentions are questioned by the cast, Amani has no problem throwing her under the bus. And as for Matt, sorry, but he's just a doormat. He's a lemming. He's a lemming that's more than happy to follow Amani off a cliff. But, and here's the bizarre part, right after literally pretty much accusing her of being a gold digger, Amani reveals that she's made a deal with Annie about money.
I promised minimum to pay her rent, and I still do that till this day. She knows I'm a jealous person. I don't want her to go work. So I'm like, okay, stay then. I'll give you the money instead of you working.
Right, hold on. Okay, right. So if you've always agreed to pay Annie's rent, then you can't just randomly turn around and act like she's now a gold digger, Amani. Sorry, but you met her at a strip club. You've agreed to pay her bills. You can't now act shocked that she's motivated by money. Like, give me a break. Now, with that being said, there is a caveat to that. You see, from the sounds of things, Amani agreed to pay Annie's rent on one condition, that she stops working as a stripper.
Do you still dance, Annie?
No.
Do you? None.
No, not anymore, not recently.
Let's ask her. Do you still dance in the club?
Yeah, of course.
So Annie knows that it makes Amani uncomfortable, and yet she still continues to dance while happily taking the handouts that she's being paid not to dance. Like, it's one giant mess. The whole thing is just a fucking lie. How they're trying to convince us that this is a real relationship is beyond anyone's comprehension. And right now, let's just call it for what it is. It's really not looking good for Annie's integrity here, is it? And yet, despite all of this, Amani and Matt are still adamant that they want to go ahead with this fraud. Divorce.
We've already actually hired a divorce lawyer.
You've been a wife for 10 years. Why would you want to give that up?
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to do for love. I love Ani.
It's just weird. Like, it's weird that you're willing to sacrifice your husband and your marriage for a woman that you can't even say with 100% certainty isn't a gold digger. Like, what am I watching here? But as the tell-all wraps up, we start to see signs that maybe Amani and Matt have also been putting on a facade. You see, on stage, they may have been acting like they were still committed to Annie, but now, alone backstage, it seems like Annie's behaviour has got them doubting her.
She says she loves me, but not the way I love her.
I have 100% hesitation, divorcing the most beautiful and amazing woman that I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, it's not really up to Matt at the end of the day, is it? It's going to be Amani's choice, and we all know Matt's just going to shut up and do what he's told. There, be a good puppy dog, Matt. Now, moving on from these idiots, let's catch up with Mark and Mina. Now, they've been quite quiet this tell-all, not too much has been said by them, but just look at them. They do seem very loved up, extra loved up. Why is that? What's the cause? Well, it might be to do with the fact that Mina seems to have got her way.
You're liking Boston better than New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
And do you plan to stay there long term?
We're kind of keeping open to all options.
Mark says that they spend their time living between the big house in New Hampshire and Boston. But, he says, we're also considering living in Paris or the south of France. To be a pilot and have that kind of money. These guys do literally have the world in their hands. Mina undoubtedly is living the high life now, but it wasn't always that way. You see, Sean reveals that back in the day, Mina used to have quite the different life.
8 years ago, you were an exotic dancer. Is that true?
Pas à mentir, c'est pas une fausse rumeur. J'ai pas rencontré Marc dans un club ou quoi que ce soit.
Mina admits that she used to dance in a club around the same sort of time that she and Mark met. I was a single mum struggling to pay my bills. I needed to support my child, she says. And there's no shame in that. There's no scandal, no drama here. It's immediately obvious that this isn't news to Mark. He knew about this. Honestly, it's nice, it's refreshing even, to know that there are no lies between them. Unlike, cough cough, the Throuple over there.
Donc, quand je lui ai parlé de ça, il m'a dit « Ah, ben c'est drôle, moi aussi, en étant jeune, j'ai aussi travaillé dans un club de striptease. Travaillé dans dancing.
I was bartending like Juan.
Mark's a real character, isn't he? He never ceases to amaze me. You could have given me 10 guesses and reason, I wouldn't have imagined him working as a bartender in a strip club. Like, it wouldn't have even crossed my mind. And yet, even though the pair of them seem like they're on top of the world together, the truth is, we all know it was never them that was the big issue in their relationship. Their problem was always Jordan. Like, from the very first scenes that we met her, she was resistant to Mina, but also it got worse. She became rude and combative. Like, she literally tried dictating to her own dad whether or not he could have another kid. So why? Why does she think she has that right?
I think it was a hard adjustment seeing your father at his age having a new baby. I pictured this time of my life, you know, to have him be like a grandfather to my children.
Now, while I clearly wasn't Jordan's biggest fan during the show, right, when she explains it like this, I do understand it a bit more. Like, this is how she should have approached it from the get-go. I think we can all empathise with that. Like, it must be very weird to accept that your dad, the grandfather of your future child, might be too busy with his own newborn to have time for his grandchild. Of course that's not nice, but it also doesn't change the facts. Like, she has no right to dictate whether or not he can have kids. That's not her place. And thankfully, it seems like she now realises this.
I'm sorry if I made you feel like I was trying to tell you what you can and can't do. I was just trying to protect my dad and voice my concerns about him having kids at his age, but it's completely your decision.
This is nice to see. It's good, right? It's needed. It's nice to see that they've put their drama and their toxicity behind them. The truth is, despite their age difference, right, I'm convinced that this is real love. Mark and Mina have something special. Now, does it help that he's a wealthy pilot? Yeah, I'm sure it does. But you also can't fake the emotions that she shows towards him. Like, there's no drama in this relationship. Mark knows that. So perhaps for that reason, he cheekily decides to cause some drama. He stirs the pot.
That's great, because she's pregnant.
Oh my God, what?
Whoa, really?
No, I'm kidding.
Let's please not try and give Jordan a heart attack on TV, shall we? Now, after some awkward conversation where Mark and Mina reveal they do still want more kids, like they're not actively trying, but at the same time, they're not trying either, if you get what I mean.
No condoms.
The conversation naturally then moves on to Mina's other child, Clayton. Where is he? How is he? Has he made it to the States yet?
How long has it been since you've seen your son?
La dernière fois, je l'ai vu, c'était quand je prenais.
11 mois. It's tough for her to talk. It's tough for her to talk about.
Oh, that is heartbreaking. When Mina left him, she told him, she promised him that he'd be there for her wedding. To now tell us that 8 months later, 8 long months later, they're still yet to even see him in person is truly heartbreaking. It's no wonder she's an emotional wreck about it.
Moi, personnellement, ça me brise le cœur parce que je me dis, en fait, même si ça reste un enfant très intelligent, très mature, mais ça reste un enfant.
Mina has been rightly very concerned that Clayton may feel like he's been abandoned by her. And she says she's done everything in her power to make sure that he knows she's always thinking about him. But thankfully, that wait, that painful separation will soon be over. You see, Mark reveals Mina can now travel abroad. She does now have her green card.
We're going to see Clayton as soon as possible within the next few weeks. And our goal or hope, j'espère, is that we're bringing Clayton back to the U.S. with us at that time.
This right here is how it should be done. Jasmine, take note. It's not all tears and no action, as we've seen Jasmine for numerous seasons, I've lost count. Like, Mark and Mina, they have a goal, they've set it, and they're taking definitive action to make that happen as soon as possible. I mean, wherever Mark, Mina and their family end up, whether that's New Hampshire, Boston, Paris or the south of France, I hope they stay happy. I hope they stay this in love.